We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She is a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And Doug, we are doing another round of listener questions today.
You never know what they're going to ask.
Our favorite episodes. No, it's all sorts of things up and down the board. A lot of cruise questions because, Doug, you just went on a Disney sailing. And then questions all up and down the board, whether it be the parks or even one with Doug involved. So we are going to get to all those and more on this week's episode. Now, the questions that we do answer first are, of course, our Patreons, Doug.
That's right. That's right. We like our patrons, and thank you to everyone that is a patron.
And we have 2 long-term Patreons that we need to give a shout-out to. No new ones, but we do have some ones that have been around for a few years we want to give a thank you to, and that's Janelle and Jennifer. You guys have been around since pretty much the beginning, so thank you guys so much for asking questions, being able to talk to you guys, whether it be at the parks and everything. So we love our Patreons, and so thank you, ladies, for supporting the show.
And Apple Podcast reviews.
We need more.
We don't have any this week, which makes me cry on the inside. And sometimes those
this is only the
leak
second
out.
time since we've been doing this that this has happened. So please take a minute if you haven't left a review, write something up, and so we can read it next week.
Yeah, I worry, Derek. I worry.
I do.
Yeah. So thank you in advance for all the reviews. All right. Well, on to a little news because there's a lot of news lately.
There is a lot of news.
A lot of stuff opening, and it all involves food.
Yes,
dessert
I have one I'm
parties.
excited for. Oh, you're starting there. Okay.
Yeah, I am. Dessert parties coming back on October 3rd, the day I leave, of course. And we can start making reservations for those on 9/17. There's Fairy Tale Fireworks dessert parties. Those are same thing, but reservations for that on 9/18. Harmonious dining packages at Rose and Crown and Spice Road Table. 9/23 is when reservations can be made for those, starting on October 1st when Harmonious starts. That will probably be an important one. So be ready to eat dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Rose and Crown. And then special viewing for that. And then Steakhouse 71, that is replacing the Wave. Now, originally, they said there was going to be like an Incredibles theme restaurant in there, right? And everybody
thought.
Kind of freaked out. It's not. It's just the theme is Steakhouse.
There's
basically
steakhouses in the Incredibles, I'm sure.
I'm sure of it, but it's got that kind of retro feel in there, and that reservations open up on 9/16, and you can eat on 10/1. And then Space 220.
That's the big one.
We got a date. So 9/20 to 9/26, that's walk up. Dining reservations can be made on 9/20 for dining on 9/27 and later. It's not complicated at all. Derek, did you have a chance to look at the menu?
I have not yet, but I did email your wife to help me get an ADR for a trip coming up. I saw the prices. Prices are expensive.
You're going to space and you're paying for it, evidently.
It's one of those ones where I'm just like, I'll pay the money. I don't care.
I think you're paying for the experience. Now, it's not like Victoria and Albert's expensive or California Grill expensive, but the menu is, to me, like there's a little bit of everything and nothing really crazy, but nothing like. And there's 2 different sets of the menu. There's an a la carte and there's a prefix 3-course thing. And so you're going to have to pick what you want to do. And so look at the menu before you go. Lots of options. I think there's something for everybody, but it's like there's duck confit. Like, so is it French? But then there's like pasta. Is it Italian? Is it just a steakhouse? I don't know. It's a little bit of everything, and very disappointed. It's not all freeze dried and rehydrated at your table.
Wow, that I'm glad it's not. It makes sense, but yeah.
I wanted to go all in on that theme. That's what I was looking for. Am I weird?
You are weird, but it makes sense. But yeah, I'm hoping to get an ADR. In fact, really, when our trip is in November, that's the only ADR I really care to make. Like everything else, we're gonna spend enough money at that one. We can eat at a couple quick services to make up for it.
And then we have the Candlelight Processional, which originally wasn't on the schedule to come back, and then they announced it is, and that's going to run November 26th through December 30th. It will not feature high school choir, so they're going to keep it all cast members, probably so they can space out a little bit on stage. If you've ever seen it, it's a lot of people
that are not 6 feet apart,
shoulder to shoulder to shoulder to shoulder on that stage. I mean, and you would watch kids pass out. It was, yeah. So it's probably wise not having the high schoolers this year. Maybe that might even be something that continues on, but that way they can assure it's, they said it was all vaccinated people singing. And so they haven't announced any of the celebrities that are doing it, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Dining packages.
I have not gotten a call yet.
You know, neither have I, Derek.
Bummer.
You know,
hoping that happens.
My whole gig to redo the voiceover for Spaceship Earth fell through, so I'm available.
Could happen. Just waiting for that phone call, Disney.
That's a little bit of the news, real quick. Any questions from any of that, Derek?
No, I'm just excited. I'm really hoping to be able to get an ADR for Space 220.
Good luck. Godspeed.
Yes.
May the force be with you. It's weird, though, that they're going to put another restaurant in Epcot where we have lots of dining options, right? Like between festivals and other sit-downs. And
it's the one place that annoys me.
Why not build a sit-down restaurant in Galaxy's Edge that was space-themed? Like, this space elevator thing would have made perfect sense there.
Absolutely.
And
now that they did it in Epcot, they're not going to want to do it in Hollywood Studios because we don't want to double dip.
Which they'll put it in Galaxy's Edge in California probably next.
Probably. Actually, that totally makes sense. 100%. Yeah.
It makes sense.
It'll be in one of the foreign parks for sure. No doubt. 5 years quoted.
They pay for anything. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Was that the news? A lot of dessert parties. Go ahead. Book
I'm excited that they're coming back.
I'm sure we will be trying to get a dessert party for Thanksgiving night. I think that will be our goal. Dessert parties on busy days are worth even more than you imagine. So, all right. First question, Derek. You want to ask that?
I got it. I got all of our Patreons. Thank you, Patreons. So I got those pulled up, so we will get to those.
All right.
First question comes from a lot of people, so we'll just round this out, and it is, what is the current requirements to sail on DCL?
All right, this is an excellent question because it's changing from when Michelle and I sailed to the time we got home, basically, it changed. So while we were sailing, the Bahamas announced that any ship that visited the Bahamas must be fully vaccinated 12 and up. So Disney had to follow suit with the Bahamas. Just the other day, they announced that they are requiring vaccination for 12 and up through the end of this year, through the end of 2021. What does that mean for January 1st, 2022? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you. What does that mean for under 12 when a vaccine is approved? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you. But I will tell you that it's likely. I could see it happening for longer. Maybe not. Who knows? Kind of depends on when the FDA approves the next round of vaccinations as well. So the big question, if your child turns 12 right before the cruise and they don't have time to vaccinate, what happens? Right, Derek?
Oh, that's a good question. Didn't even think about that.
Or you scheduled this cruise to be your 12th birthday.
Yeah.
So in that event, they get treated as an unvaccinated child. So basically, it's through 12 and 5 weeks. So if they're 12 and 4 weeks, they get tested 3 days before. You do a test, you upload the results to the Safe Passage website, and then you get tested at the port. Now, all adults, children, everybody, vaccinated or not, tested at the port. That starts maybe between us recording and this coming out. So how that's going to go, I don't exactly know yet because it hasn't started quite yet. I think it's like tomorrow or the next day. So we're still learning, but right now everybody gets tested going forward. Everybody's vaccinated that's eligible to be vaccinated, basically, if that makes sense, and fully vaccinated. So any questions from that, Derek? Did I get it?
No, I think you got it from everything that I read. And then also, you were right. Things are changing constantly. So, depending on how the numbers go, just stay tuned and we'll try to keep you updated as best as possible. And if you have
Those
any
are the
questions,
rules.
those are the rules. If you have any questions, message us and we will do our best to find whatever is needed to be updated with what's going on.
And we're going to talk about other protocol throughout these next
We
questions.
have a lot. So
Let's
get
go.
to them. To our Patreons, who, by the way, are, I'm loving our fantasy football pick 'em. You have to be
How'd
a
I do,
Rope Drop
Derek?
Radio Patreon. You're ahead of me. You're actually third place,
Yeah,
Doug.
just thought I
Third
wanted you to
place.
say that instead of
Yes.
me.
I am doing terribly
You
at
picked the
football
Packers,
pick'ems.
as did I.
Go Pack, go. Anyway, Ryan Alexander, who's in there with us, he asks, what are the post-COVID DCL changes you like and those you dislike?
I love the short fireworks. I can't say that. It could be a hair longer, but I did not like the long show before it leading up. I mean, maybe the first time I ever saw it, I did like it a little, but it dragged. Short fireworks. I like that. I also like them serving the buffet. However, they need the full buffet. So that would be a like and a dislike that they didn't have like Mickey waffles on the breakfast buffet. Like, figure that out. Um, Other things I did not like, boy, I wish they showed more than one of the Broadway style shows on the Dream. I think they'll figure out how, because the ship, our cruise, they really only showed Beauty and the Beast one night, and it wasn't like full. They didn't turn people away, so I think they would be capable of showing two shows, unless they're more concerned about increasing capacity prior to that. But there wasn't much I didn't like. I mean, my expectations were set, though. I knew what to expect, and um, it was good. There was more that I liked that I wouldn't mind sticking around, but I know it's impractical to stick around. Right? If that makes sense.
Yeah. The only thing I know I like, since I haven't been on a ship, are the numbers of people on the ship. I saw the other day that they're like 18% full, and I would love to be on Castaway with only 18% of a Disney cruise ship.
Yeah, I think the biggest complaint we heard out of anybody was not being able to move the chairs on Castaway. And let's be honest, if that's your biggest complaint, like, I mean, it is nice to move the chair down to the water and sit in the water. However, you can just sit on the sand. I know sand gets into crevices, but it is what it is. There we go.
Right. Let's go on. Sarah asks, what are the new timelines for different parts of check-in? Is there any benefit to being platinum anymore? Ooh, Doug, there's a good one for you.
So, yeah, right now the pay in full date's way later than when you actually can check in and book your activity. So the only real advantage to platinum right now is you're beating other people to booking activities. So if a certain Palo time is important to you, or Remy time, platinum does still have an advantage there. Your chance of getting a cabana still slim because the concierge snags them all up. However, you got the magic coming back where it's smaller. There is probably more of a chance of getting them as a platinum on that. That's kind of your only platinum advantage right now. I would like to see, and we wrote this on our comment card, platinum automatically be group number 2 or 3, and then everybody else after that. So group 1 was concierge, which I get. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah, pay the money, you get it.
Group 2 was if you rode Disney Transportation. So basically, they want, whenever somebody comes on a Disney bus and dumped off, they can get on. They don't want them having to loiter until they're group like 20, right? So that's why the Disney buses are all group 2. It doesn't mean they're getting on ahead of group 3. Group 2 was like 10 people when we were there. So group 3 was where the first mass of people, and that was us. And I would like to see group 3 be exclusively platinum. or group 3 and 4. I would like to see that advantage because right now there's not that. But yeah, the check-in stuff, it's changing as well. I think it's 30 days out. You have to do that, and you put all the stuff in safe passage, and you got to get that done, and you just have to keep checking it. So there you go.
All right. Well, Emily Penner writes, for someone who has never been on a cruise with 2 adults, 2 kids, 5 and 10, what would be a good one to do? And I get seasick on sailboats. Do I need to worry on a cruise ship?
All right. What ages again? How many
5
people?
and 10.
And 2 adults, so
2
a party
adults.
of 4.
Yeah, party of 4. A lot easier than a party of 5. I will tell you that, Emily.
Disney
It's
Cruise
night and
Line's
day.
not a fan. The parks have gotten way more family of 5 friendly. There's only a couple resorts you can't stay at now, but but the cruise line, yeah, party of 5. It's still more friendly than any other cruise line. But anyway, back to the question. 5 and 10 are great ages for any itinerary. We did, I think, a 7-night, and Claire was 5, and I think that first and second 7-night cruise we did are some of my favorite vacations looking back. We did so many of the family activities together, and those activities can work for a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. The game shows that they have, like how well you know your family and that sort of stuff, they're fantastic. Even better if you're in them. So I think any of the cruises, and having a sea day is great. So I would say 4 days to 7. Something like that. 3 days is because you're fitting it in your schedule. If all you can fit in your schedule is 3 days, that's what you do. So we do that a lot because our kids are in way too many things, right? So 4 days to 7 days, they're just glorious. That'd be my recommendation. Destination, I don't think it really matters. Caribbean, Castaway is all good.
That's all that matters.
That's the big key. I wouldn't worry too much about the destination if you're sailing out of Port Canaveral. It's gonna be good. Did I answer all that question?
And seasickness.
Oh, seasickness. So sailboats, a lot of people can get sick on those and not get sick on
I'm
ships.
one of them. I don't get sick on the ship, but yeah, sailboat can knock me out.
Totally different. I would say, can you read in a moving car? If you can read, no problem. People driving around town like a crazy person, you'll be fine. If you can't read in a car, that's when you should look into getting a scopolamine patch or something like that. I think that's a great way to judge it.
I agree with you. So moving on, we have a lot of questions, so we're going to try and rapid fire a lot of these. So Dylan Gamble asks, is there any downtime while on the cruise ships during the day? Are the days full of things to do during sailing, or is there a lot of just hanging out in the rooms? Hope the questions make sense. Never been on a cruise before, let alone any of the Disney ones. So
that's a great question.
That's a great question.
The answer is yes and yes. There's as much downtime as you want.
I'm an extrovert. I'm never in the room. Ever.
You can be busy the whole time.
I think I'm in the room 5 hours.
Like, I could honestly sit in the room and watch on-demand video. It was way cooler before Disney Plus, but I could sit by the pool and just watch Funnel Vision and be lazy. However, you could go learn how to fold towels. You could go do crafts, more crafts. You could learn how to draw, like the animation studio thing. You can do how to cook. There's something going on all the time
for all ages.
And characters to find.
Yep.
And if that doesn't cut it for you, there's the midship detective agencies on the Fantasy and Dream. And then there's the, water slides. It's what you want.
You're never bored. I was never bored.
Like this last Disney cruise, I relaxed. There was a stretch where
I don't understand that word.
I think I fell asleep on deck 4 on a chair outside for weird. About 20 minutes.
That Michelle, does not sound relaxing.
Michelle just let me. I think she probably wandered off and then came back and was like, hey, wake up. But there's both. It's totally up to you. And there's no right or wrong way to cruise.
I was once doing karaoke at like 1 a.m. on a cruise ship. And I'm like, I need to go to bed. We disembark at 7 a.m. This is ridiculous. So, if you want to do something, there's definitely something to do. And the new Wish ship there's going to be even more to do, I think.
I will say the Disney ships don't run as late at night as like Royal or Norwegian.
You're not being gambling until 4 or 5 in the morning.
No, they do kind of shut down. The adult only area will run till about 1, and then it's done. But the kids clubs stay open just as long. So
Yep. All right. Ricardo asks, what are the mistakes you were doing on your first DCL cruise and now don't? Ooh, this is a good one, Doug.
I don't think I've ever made a mistake. No, I'm joking. We on the first cruise, we bought the photo package and did not take enough photos. Like they have photos set up around the atrium every night with like 3 or 4 different backdrops. Like one's just white. So if you just want a nice picture of your family, you can legitimately get a good picture, and you can do that every night, and it's bound to have 1 or 2 work out where boom, your Christmas card's done, right? And so we didn't take enough of those. I think that was one fail. There's just so many food options on a 3 or 4 night. You're not gonna get them all, but I tried. That was a fail.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean. I felt that. What about you, Derek? What?
We have never done the pirate buffet. Not because we don't want to. It's just like getting kids to bed and back to the room, and one of us getting to the buffet. It's been a major fail.
Hard.
Both trips that we've done.
It's a struggle. We did it successfully. The last couple of cruises we rope dropped that rather than they open it right when the fireworks start. So we just and the cast members looked at us like, "What are you doing? The fireworks start." We're like, "Yeah, we've seen them. We're good." And they did not have it on this last cruise with COVID. So COVID killed the pirate buffet. Plus, I mean, it killed pirate night. There is no pirate night, which I'm fine with. But
that was a fail for us. We didn't dress up the first time doing pirate night. The next year we definitely did.
Yeah. That's one of those things. You never dress up enough your first day.
Yep.
But I guess that earlier question, one thing, they do need to bring the pirate buffet back. I do like that, but I don't know, Derek. I worry that is just gone.
No, it'll be back. That one I know it will come back.
The buffet? I'm just talking the buffet. I don't think the buffet's coming back.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see on that one.
Moving along.
All right, Wendy asks, for my 50th birthday in June, by the way, happy birthday. I have the goal of doing my favorite rides in all 4 parks in one day. Not sure it's doable, just to get the parks, without the old park hopper system. Thoughts? What's your guess about whether hopper stays like it is now or goes back? This is a tough one, because remember, if you listen to my show, I've never even done all 4 parks in one day.
It's still easy to get to them all.
Yeah.
It's really not hard, but to do your favorite rides, that's a challenge.
With Genie coming out, you might be able to spend some money to make sure you get your 4 favorite rides in. Could be the easiest thing you've ever done if you have the income to do it.
Right? It's hard to say what that's going to be like. I just can't see when we get to the point where COVID numbers are low and staying low. I just can't see how they justify leaving park hopping at 2. I just don't see
1 o'clock makes sense. That is such a weird time.
Sense.
11 makes it. Well,
Why
Epcot
is
opens at 11.
Still opening at 11?
Idea.
Those are the 2 things that drive me the most nuts. Epcot's still opening at 11, except for select days coming up, by the way. And then we can't park hop till 2.
Because Animal Kingdom, I'm done by like 11.
Yeah, we have another question. We'll talk about that.
I know. We'll get to that. Yep.
So I guess we have no answer. Start at the park. You have the most rides.
You can do it if you believe it. You can do it. That's for sure.
Yep. And happy birthday.
Epcot's the last park you go to on the park hop.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer there.
Yes. So happy birthday, though. Dylan asks, do you expect the overall prices for Disney World vacations to go back down to in the future? Oh, I can't even say that with a straight face, Dylan. Seeing the price increase over the last few years and seeing it climb, will they bring anything down to offset it, or is this just the new normal? Went in 2015 for my honeymoon and cost only $2,000 for a week. Now my trip booked some dates in 2022 is costing over $3,000 for the same number of days, and even the same resort.
Yeah, it's not coming down.
Inflation, my friend.
It's lots of different things. The attendance has grown. over the last couple decades, right? Significantly. So they have to do something to cut that. And the easiest thing to do is raise price and hope less people come. It's win-win. But it's really not working out real well. I don't think it's not reducing the crowds enough. They're still selling, so as long as that park's full.
They're going
And
to
I
keep
know a lot
raising
of
prices.
people have,
Absolutely.
have looked at the parks in the last few weeks and like, oh, it's not busy. They raised the price too much. Yeah, it's September. These last 2 weeks, the best
School
2 weeks of
started.
the year to
Absolutely.
go. If you
We
want to
used to
avoid
do that. In
crowds,
fact,
Labor Day,
my time hop has been reminding me we used to go this week
heck,
all
we
the
went
time, Doug.
last year
Oh, we were.
about
We
this
were there
time.
1 year ago right now.
Yeah, and so not only was it COVID, and post Labor Day, that was ghost town. So yeah, don't
Well, and
it's
also
not
a lot of
down.
people are waiting for the 50th. They were like, "Yeah, we'll wait a
Yeah,
couple extra weeks."
yeah.
So
Wait a couple more weeks
yeah,
and enjoy the 50th.
we knew that the last 2 weeks of September it was going to be nothing. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to be busy again. It's going to be busy, and yeah, prices only go up. When do you ever see prices go down?
on
Not just in
old
like
dated
anything.
used
Used
cars, but
cars. There you go. Used Disney
like
parks.
you can't. Yeah, it's not. It's
Not
only going
happening.
up. Sorry,
Yep.
Dylan.
All right. Chloe asks, is it worth going to DCL when your kids are too young for the free childcare? Is a Disney cruise worth it if you leave your child at home? I love this question, Doug.
I would say yes and yes. I've done one of those. I've sailed twice now on DCL without kids, but I've never gone with a child that's too young. We were late to the party, but you have,
I
Dylan.
have, and it was totally worth it. I love the Finding Nemo nursery, and yeah, it costs money, but it was a great time, and our kid loved being in there. And then, yeah, our other kids loved the clubs, but I mean, it really wasn't that big of a challenge to have. I'm trying to think how old he was, give or take
Yeah,
one and a
about
half.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. He loved the characters. He loved Pirate Knight. Yeah, my arms got a little tired and shoulders carrying him, but he loved it so much. And we have those pictures and memories of having our child on a DCL ship that we'll have forever. In fact, I am looking one. It's been my computer background since we got off there. So him with Mickey on Castaway. So it's definitely worth it in my mind. And the nursery and the staff are next level professional and will do a great job. And he didn't even cry at all. So it was totally worth it. We did a couple dinners and a couple shows where we just dropped him off at the nursery.
And I know there's some people that will wait until their youngest is old enough, but you gotta remember that puts your oldest kid way older. So sometimes, what you're waiting for robs the oldest one of the experience when they're younger too. So think about that. And I've heard some people that they wait till they go like right after their youngest turns 3, which is the age you need to get in the clubs. And then they're just a little too young, immature, to really handle being on their own in the clubs because a lot of 3-year-olds haven't done preschool. And if they've been at home with mom or dad and not going to like a daycare setting, that sort of stuff, they like parents like, here you go. And then they like, cry and come right back. So that can happen.
Yeah, I think this follows in greatly with Adam's question. He asks, and what is the best age to start taking kids when they can actually get something out of it? More of once or twice in the lifetime type of thing. So what's the best age? And I think this is a great follow-up question.
Yeah, if you're going once or twice in a lifetime and you're looking at what the kid gets out of it, not the adult.
On Disney Cruise.
Probably 4 to 5. They have a fantastic time,
Bibbidi
right?
Bobbidi Boutique and all
They're
the
they're not
things.
gonna
Yeah.
remember it, but you're gonna
My
have all the
daughter still
pictures.
remembers a lot of her
They'll,
fifth trip. Yeah, 5-year-old.
and then I think that 10
I was gonna say, start they moving into the tweens.
when they get in the edge,
Mhm.
if they're outgoing, they can do a lot of neat things with the edge, especially on the longer cruises. But they're all pretty fantastic. I can't answer that.
Each
I'd
kid
want
is
to go
different.
every year.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think for Alden, it didn't matter what club he was in because he didn't really like being in the clubs that much. He'd rather be hanging out with his parents because he's weird like that. Where Claire be like, "See ya, I'm gonna go in here and color with Tinkerbell,"
I
and
mean, my introverted kid would go to the clubs at 7 a.m. and I wouldn't see him again until 7 p.m. And that was his choice. He's like, no, don't pick me up. I don't want to go.
but we're having fun as a family.
Yeah, I had to drag him out of there. So,
Yeah, and we've seen that change too with our kids as they've gotten older. Some like it more and some like it less. So it's hard to say. That's a good question.
it is. It is. And who
All
knows?
all
Yeah.
answers.
The best time to go on a Disney cruise is as soon as you can, pending
Yeah, when you
everything
can
that's
work
going
it out
on.
and have it work for your family, that's the best time.
All right, here we go. Moving out of Patreon to other people. Other people being back to the mouse. Joe asked, is DCL still offering upgrades at the port?
Yes, they are. They will take more money from you if you offer it. There's not just like free upgrades, but you might get a discounted upgrade. Yes, just like before. That's the fastest answer I got.
That's a good one. Next question I love. Matt asks, how will Everest closing / refurbishment affect the Animal Kingdom touring in early 2022?
It's going to limit my alone time.
It's going to be devastating for me. I mean, that's such an e-ticket attraction that we do multiple times. And it's not like it's going down. I've heard it's just, they're upgrading some technology, but they're not. They're not fixing the Yeti, which part of me is really hoping it's all a ploy to fix the Yeti.
Just make me a platform. I'll stand there and wave at people like the Yeti as it goes. I'm Yeti-like.
They're going to do some motion tracking and some visual effects. So excited for that. But I really do think this is such a shot to Animal Kingdom, where we just talked about earlier on the show. This is a 3-hour park, and you're taking away the second, maybe third best attraction there.
And the other news I didn't mention because we knew we'd get to it, they're kind of refurbing, updating Finding Nemo the musical. They didn't give us a date.
Nope.
To when that's coming back. So until Finding Nemo is back, once you watch Lion King, you're pretty much done. I mean, you could do Tough to Be Bug and the Bird Show yet, but like those aren't must-dos. Especially Tough to Be a Bug with kids. It's scary. And the bird show is outside in the heat, and you're in
Birds
Florida.
are scary.
Well, Samantha will never do it.
I'm not a big fan of it. But yeah, it's tough that Everest is going down and they don't have anything else to back it up with. Like, that's my thing. If you're gonna take down an e-ticket attraction like that, have a play in the back pocket. Like if you're Hollywood Studios and you're like, hey, we're gonna take down Tower of Terror, we got galaxies. That not that happened, but that's my philosophy. You gotta bring something new to take something away to make better.
Well, their idea is, well, Pandora's not brand new, so now is the time. Like, think if they had closed Everest right after they opened Pandora, right? Once you did Pandora, what would you do? And I don't know. There's never a good time for something like Everest to go down, but it's got to. They got to clean up all those hair ties.
Oh, they're getting gross. I take a picture of that every now and then. I'll have to see if I have one. We'll post it. So, all right. He also asks, when are character meets coming back, Doug? And I'm thinking the hug, kiss, love character meets, the ones that we know and remember, the ones that Doug hates. When are they going to ever come back, Doug?
No idea, Derek. No idea.
No one knows.
I mean, it could be.
I honestly don't even think
6
Disney
months?
knows.
No idea. I think it's all going to depend on COVID spread, and that's who knows.
All right.
Yeah, that's a tough.
I agree. Who knows?
All right.
If you want an awkward hug with Doug, though, if you see him at the parks, he might take one with you.
No.
And we get a picture of it. Anyway, Ricardo asks, is Walt Disney World getting more spontaneity friendly? That's a hard word.
It is. It's impressive, Ricardo. Spontaneity. That's good job, sir. Yeah, I think so. With 60 days out for dining instead of 180. I mean, 60 days in advance to make dining doesn't sound spontaneous, but compared to 180,
it's also harder to get ADRs right now, I feel like.
I know. I like the 180 because
I love the 180. I failed once again to get Ohana, Doug. Failed again.
Gotta set your touring plans reminder.
I do have that
the
going.
only option.
I have that going right now.
And then with like Lightning Lane, Genie Plus, Max Pass style, I mean, you're making it day of. That's a little more, much more spontaneous than making your Fast Passes 30 days out. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. And
Yeah.
I like the touring plans, the wait time app. That definitely helps me move around the park a little bit faster to what the actual wait time is. And can be spontaneous with that one too. Be like, oh, well, you know what? It says 75 for Jungle Cruise, but, touring plan says 19. We'll take a shot and go that way.
But on the other end of the spectrum, we still have park passes.
Yes.
So you can't just like wake up in the morning and be like, you know what? I'm not feeling Magic Kingdom. I want to go to Hollywood Studios. It may or may not be available.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
most
Can't do that one.
almost everything's available right now, but like we said, September has not been busy. So we'll see going forward if once capacity is all the way back, if that actually will matter. Like if you can wake up and just make your park pass.
Yep.
Don't know.
All right, next question. Love it because this affects me. Yesterday, Matt asks, can you provide a break even on the new annual passes?
All right, so here we go.
A
We're
lot
going
of
to talk
math
about
on this one, by the way.
the Incredipass, right? Because that's something everybody can get. It's
Yep.
not for Florida residents. So and it was funny when they announced all the different passes. A lot of people were like, "There's only one option for people that live in Florida." Like there was only really one option before. It just sounded like two because the other option added the water parks, which is still an add-on if you want to do it. All right. Anyway, the Incredipass. So if you're looking at break even, you're looking almost exclusively at your park tickets, right? It's has nothing really to do with the other stuff. So your park tickets. So Incredipass is $1,299 before tax. So $1,300, right? A 5-day hopper. Now remember, the price changes depending on the time of year you go. So you can't just say like, it's this much. It changes. So for this example, I picked November 10th as my start day because that's kind of coming up. It's not low season. It's not high season. It's just kind of in the middle. So it gives us a nice average. So a 5-day hopper is $600. So if you do 2 5-day trips, 5-day hopper trips, and I use the hopper because you get hopping with the Incredipass, right? So to compare more apples to apples. So that puts you at $1,200 or $100 short. There, I could say you can break even because you get the free parking with the Incredipass, and if you're staying off property, potentially, that free parking helps. If you're staying on property, the free parking doesn't help you at all because you already get that. Or if you're not driving. The other thing is you get 20% off some merchandise, some dining, 10% off some dining. So you can save up to $100 especially if you're doing 10 park days. And if you're eating at some sit-down meals. When you say that's safe to say that's kind of the break even if you're looking at discounts. I hate to use discounts to do the break even though necessarily, right, Derek?
It does, but those discounts can add up, especially with some of the dining. And I always take that like if that $100 at the end, you're like $100, the discounts will make up for that, and that's how I've always looked at it.
Now, where the discounts won't make up for it, right? This is one person. So we're a family of 5. If you have to buy 5 annual passes, then your discount doesn't, because you're already going to get with one Incredipass, you get the discount for all 5.
There's a reason why I've been the only one with an annual pass in my family for most of the last 5 years.
So there is some advantage there, some wiggle room. The tricky thing about that is if you book a resort package, everybody on the package has to have the same park ticket, right? So if you only have one annual pass. So what we have done in the past when we just did the adults with the annual pass is we booked a resort package with a 10-day hopper, even though we were only there 5. And then like once we got into the park, you go to your first day, you go to guest services, and you can upgrade to that annual pass.
I've done that before.
So that's one way. If you just want one person, or you just want one person to get the annual pass, you get the park ticket you want, and then the one person upgrades Because say that one person's coming back for like a rope drop radio trip. That
What? Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense, and then that one person can get the dining discounts and the merchandise discounts.
Mm-hmm.
But the tricky thing is the merchandise discounts can get you in trouble because that's how you end up spending more. You're like, we get 20% off. Keep buying.
What? That has never, ever, always happened to me.
All right, let's look at some other day combinations. So say you have a 2-day trip, right, and like an 8-day trip. Do you think that's gonna? So we did two 5 days, kind of was just barely the break even. So we're gonna do a 2-day trip and an 8-day trip. So a 2-day trip is 343, an 8-day trip is 670. So you're not breaking even, but it's the same number of days.
Yep.
So the 5
Disney
day,
math.
right? So this is why the math gets tricky. A 10-day ticket alone is 706. So if you're going for just a one long trip, definitely not worth it to get an annual pass.
No.
Doing 2 longer trips of 5 days plus, then the math starts to check out. A 6-day ticket is 618, so you're still counting on discounts to get to your discount to the savings. Where you actually finally truly break even is 2 7-day tickets at 637. Or you could do 3 4-day tickets and you break even. Or I'm 3 3-day tickets you break even. Right? 463 for a 3-day topper. So yeah, you'd break even there and some change. 3 2-day tickets, no, not going to happen. But the 3 3 days or 2 5 days, a true break even is 2 7 days.
There you go.
There you go.
I got my
Math.
kids' annual passes, which I would have never thought I would have done, Doug.
Welcome.
I
Welcome,
know.
Derek.
Welcome to a new club. So we did ours pretty simple. We have a 4-day trip. We have a 5-day trip in March. With 4-day in November, 5 days in March, and then we were like, and we were getting close to the break even. And this is kind of what it got us is we're going to be down on the Disney Wish in August. And we usually, like to go to the parks a day before, a day after too. And we're like, well, the break even would be one pretty much day at the parks. And so it's like, we're going to do that anyway. And so that was pretty much gave us the break even number that we wanted. And then also when you have annual passes for everyone, it's like, maybe we can squeeze an extra trip in.
Really, once you get past that break-even point, you're
that rope drop radio
really
trip that you and I had last September, I was on like day 16 by then.
Right? And if you add up all your 4 and 5 day trips, park admission is super expensive. And the folks out in California that would go for like 1 day here, 1 day there, boy, they really learned how their lifestyle was crazy expensive without an annual pass. Notice no one really complained about the price of the annual pass out in California. Okay, some people definitely complain because the prices, everybody's going to complain. But when you look at what people were spending for 1 day and 2 day tickets, they're like, oh, please give me the annual pass back. So there you go, break even.
All right. Well, and Doug and I will probably have annual passes just a part of our taxes for the rest of our life. That's just part of breaking even when you do this show.
Yep.
Just comes out of the bank account. Anyway, next question is, I don't know who wrote it, but I love it.
Oh, it's Matt.
Is it Matt still wrote that one? Okay. How long would Doug last at Walt Disney World if he were wearing 2 left shoes? Would he even make it to park entrance? Now, if you don't know, Doug had 2 left shoes accidentally on a DCL trip. Go back and listen to that. But I can say that Doug would not make it to the park entrance. He would be Amazon something to his room or to the gate or somewhere. He would not get to park. Not at all.
I'd drive to Target or somewhere.
You don't want Doug to have 2 left shoes.
No, nobody
at the
wants
parks.
that.
No one wants that.
Wants
you
it.
think, it'd be funny, and you don't even want to be in the same park. If Doug has 2 left shoes at Epcot, you want to be at Animal Kingdom.
Lord. I wouldn't make it to lately we've had a rental car all the time. I'd make it to the rental car. But so I usually fly with flip-flops on, right? And pack my tennis shoes. So it is a concern. If I screwed that up, I'd be finding like a sporting goods store or some place to buy tennis shoes. There'd be no hesitation about that, but I wouldn't make it very far. That was so uncomfortable. It
Can
was
only
bizarre,
imagine.
weird
For the
walking
record,
in it.
if I had two left shoes, I would not be going to the parks at all. I would be going to maybe the gift shop, getting some
You
sandals,
know, they
something.
don't. They're hard to find, but Disney Springs has options too.
There you go. I would be
Go to
finding
Disney
something.
Springs. Yeah, it's you always get Crocs.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I don't think
Yep,
so.
at that point.
Okay.
So anyway, Nate asks, worst name, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or Creation Shop?
Do you even know what the Creation Shop is,
No, I
Derek?
must. I read this now, and I'm like, oh, am I missing something?
That's kind of what I wondered. Like, does Derek even know what this is? So you know Mouse Gears at
Yeah.
Epcot?
Yep.
That's the new name of Mouse
Oh, I did
Gears.
know that. I did hear
Yeah, it's
that one.
awful, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is terrible.
That's way worse
I
because
love mouse gears
yeah, Mickey and Minnie's does a great job of describing exactly what it
with
is,
the
which
ride is.
annoys me a little, but it's way better than Creation Shop.
Yep.
I
I
don't know
did
what
know
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the middle of Epcot, they could just put a word. They could just put shop,
Yep.
right? And let's be honest,
Buy our stuff.
like
.com.
Disney stuff, and it wouldn't matter. But the Creation Shop, it's just a little weird.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along, we have another one from Back to the Mouse. With the new Genie Plus, do you think it's better to stay on property, or would you save that money and go off property and pay for Genie Plus and Lightning Passes for the few that the Genie Plus isn't available for? I love this question, Doug, because I've had
It's
the exact same question.
it's a great question, and somebody answered it very thoroughly. I started doing some math, and I'm like, you know what? I think I just heard something about this. So our friend Joe, Disney Deciphered, Joe Chung, he did all the math, and he had some surprising results that it's not necessarily cheaper. He calculated in getting to the park, paying for parking, resort fees. I mean, he was very thorough. So if you're staying at a value not probably worth staying off property. You're not saving the money. Plus, you got to remember off property, you have way more hassle. But they talked a lot about all the things Disney's taken away, like Magical Express. They didn't mention airport check-in, which is, I think, the biggest crime of all.
R.I.P.
We have to pay to park, right? All these little things. But you know what? You pay to park at a lot of other resorts. So they did like a Disney Springs resort, some other off-property ones. The big takeaway is if you want more space, stay off property. That's what you're getting. And if you're staying deluxe, you can save money off property, but define deluxe off property. It definitely varies a lot. The nice thing about Disney is you know what you're getting. So you're not necessarily saving the money to put towards Genie Plus. You might be upgrading your space. So say you were going to stay at Caribbean Beach, you can get more room off property for the same price as Caribbean Beach is kind of what comes down. But check out Joe and Leslie on Disney Decipher. Definitely give them a listen. A little shout out to them. But it was a great episode. It's a whole episode just about this question. I almost asked Michelle to do all the math for me, and she's like, I've been on hold for an hour and a half with Disney Cruise Line. So I was like, never mind. I'm going to back.
And I think you're going to
Geez,
see a
lot of
lot
Disney Cruise
more
Line will be later.
breakdowns of this question as we get into October,
And-
especially.
And what's equivalent, right? That's the tricky thing. The Swalfin or the Swan and Dolphin, I think, is one where you can save some money and you still have some of the Disney perks. So, and the biggest problem before about the Swalfin was there was no Magical Express and you had to pay to park at their resort. Well, Disney solved that problem for them because
Now they do it.
it's the
Yeah.
exact same scenario, right? So, Swan and Dolphin, which is something Disney travel agents can book for you, definitely can be a way to save some money and still have that deluxe location right there by Beach Club, Yacht Club, and but it doesn't feel it to me. It feels more like I'm in Las Vegas resort type of place rather than there. Rather than Disney. The other thing Michelle mentioned as far as saving money resort wise, there are some places at Universal that are very inexpensive, and you know that you're getting Universal level service and the cleanliness of it, because you go off property in Florida, there's hit and miss.
Yep.
So it's something nice about the peace of mind of staying at Disney, but Universal too. So their values are actually very inexpensive. She said she's had several people that stay their whole trip at Universal and commute to Disney for their 4 park days there. Grant, you don't get the early entry, which is huge if you're a rope dropper, huge. But in the future you can do Genie, but that's one that you don't have to worry about some of the intangibles, but you got to pay to get to Universal too. I mean, Disney's not doing anything new. Everybody else has been doing it. So the rental car game is big. Right now, the rental cars are cheap for October, not cheap for November. So hopefully November will go down in price. Is that a short enough answer or long?
We could do a whole show on this one,
right?
Sure.
I mean, I saw it and I wanted to. I'm like, well, Disney Deciphered did a whole show. Just give them a listen. Let them know we sent you.
All right. Bobby asks, question, breakfast spots in each park always seem to be a challenge. Any advice? Yes, Bobby. You eat mini donuts and Diet Mountain Dew like Doug and then go to the park. That's his solution.
You eat before you get to the park. I don't know what you're talking about. Why is there breakfast in a park? Derek, where do you like to eat in the Magic Kingdom?
Oh, I was prepared for Animal Kingdom, but Magic Kingdom.
Okay, let's go that route. Yeah, you go.
Animal Kingdom's really simple. Pandora, and then when you do rider swap or whatever, you go to Starbucks right there. Easy peasy. That's Starbucks. I have spent so much. I don't know if I've gone to Animal Kingdom and not gone to that Starbucks. Because right there by Pandora.
It is.
You get a breakfast sandwich and a coffee. Done.
They have a little breakfast thing at the Pongo.
Yeah, that was the worst breakfast sandwich I've eaten in my life.
No, that was it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So I don't.
It was made the day before. I will never forget that one.
In a warehouse down the street, but yeah, I mean, it's breakfast. It's what mini donuts from Amazon are for.
There you go. So that's Animal Kingdom. Really go to that, and if you want to sit down, you go to Tusker House.
Oh yeah. I don't the breakfast spots. So I did learn this week that Rainforest Cafe serves breakfast at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, don't do that.
Ever. Please don't. So, Shell had to book that for somebody.
Now, then you're moving to Hollywood Studios. That's when you get on the app and you pre-order. Like if you're in Toy Story, if you're rope dropping Toy Story, boom, you hit up Woody's Lunchbox, and the app is great. That's the one good thing COVID did. I can get my food, and I can literally eat and be on my way to Millennium Falcon without any detour.
Hollywood Studios might be the best grab and go quick breakfast park.
You could have a Ronto ramp if you start in Galaxy's Edge and move over. Absolutely.
They have a breakfast Ronto wrap, which I think is superior to the regular Ronto wrap. Sorry, Kent. It's true. I love that thing. And then they added the Mickey waffle platter over at Hollywood Scoops. It's not even on the app. You just have to get in line and get it, and like super fresh and like tons of they were good. Perfect. Yep. I don't say that about food often, Derek, but it was perfect.
Epcot opens at 11, so if you're not eating breakfast beforehand, that's a different issue because you want to start drinking when you get into Epcot.
Breakfast Cape May is where
breakfast is that if you're going to Epcot, you're eating in your resorts. Yeah, you're grabbing some at the bus. There you go. That's the easy way to do Epcot. Need to eat
way before you get there right now, unless it's one of the days coming up where it opens early. But on the way in, like you could do the Boardwalk Bakery. That's a good option.
I have done Sunshine Seasons, like a group of the kids we'll rider swap and they'll do Soarin' and then yep.
Not
done
now.
That 3 or 4 times. No, not now. No. But that's something.
Garden Grill had a great breakfast too, but.
And then Magic Kingdom, there's only one option, Doug, and that's you rope drop Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and then you go get a Gaston cinnamon roll. You inhale that sugar that will give you diabetes instantly, and then that gives you enough energy to move on to the next 4 attractions.
If I was eating an actual breakfast without you at the Magic Kingdom, it would not be that cinnamon roll. It would be a waffle from Sleepy Hollow.
Okay, yeah, you know what? It's not far off that path. So
I do both and meet in the middle.
Exactly. Meet at Peter Pan. Done.
Yeah, or maybe by Pinocchio's. Sit outside of Pinocchio's. And
I like it.
Eat our breakfasts. About halfway.
Also, you have a Starbucks right there as you walk in, and I don't know
The
how many
slowest
times.
moving line on earth, though.
It is ridiculous, and I have probably at least 30 pictures on my phone of that Starbucks.
We went there on Michelle's birthday trip and got water. She got eliminated. I got water, and they wrote my name as Dong again.
Makes sense.
I don't know how many times I've been called Dong.
I'm gonna start calling you that on the show.
Might as well. Might as well.
So
There you
we
go.
have one more question. So we have Elena Lauren, who asks, "What is your favorite cruise destination and why? And favorite ship and why?" Also, I'm a dentist too. So, man, we really do
Hey.
get dentists that listen to this show.
It's a demographic.
I guess
We
dentists who
cornered
like
it.
Disney.
That's because they like the breakdowns we do on the very detailed, orientated type people. So that's makes sense. It adds up.
Man,
What's your
actually
favorite
enjoy going.
destination? Where would you like to
Castaway.
cruise? Castaway? Yeah,
Yeah, but I
Castaway's
did
my
talk about in
favorite.
our show that I do want to get to Alaska. That is in my bucket list items. But for what I've done, I mean, Castaway is the greatest place on the planet, so I would like to go there as much as possible.
So, I mean, it's tough for me between Alaska and Europe. The neat thing about Alaska is you're just on the ship, you get to enjoy the ship and look at the nature. Like it's like a 2-for-1. Where Europe, it's like you get to go be immersed in Europe for the whole day. And then like with kids especially, you get back on the ship, they get to eat chicken nuggets with ketchup, and that's two things you're not doing really, or chicken strips, my bad. It feels like home, but yet you're in Europe, so it makes it much easier to do with children. But you can still get that immersion. So that's not really an answer. Favorite ship, fantasy. I'll just say it. Derek?
Okay. That's a tough one. I've only been on the Dream and the Magic, and I have a feeling the fantasy cruise that I would have just been on last year, that's been canceled now on us, would be up there. But I kind of might lean a little towards the Magic. I like that smaller ship size. I really loved the smaller size of Castaway. That right there made that class of ship worth it totally. So that might be it, but you know what? I need to get back on a ship. My favorite cruise ship is the one I'm on, Doug.
That's the best answer there.
But I will tell you what, as soon as I get on the Wish in August, I have a feeling that one might move up the chain.
No, I doubt it.
Brand new ship, all
doesn't
new
look
tech,
fancy at all.
now fancy things, Marvel, and all sorts of shenanigans.
Oh, I can't wait for the Marvel dining. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Just looking forward to the dining so much. So there you go. I think that's it.
That is all of our questions. A lot of great ones that we have answered. And of course, if you have any follow-up or we missed something, send us a message at Rope Drop Radio on all the things, and we will get back to you with whatever answers that we may have. Hopefully we got everything correct.
Well, we'll be told.
Our own opinions, absolutely.
Yes, these are not the opinions of the Walt Disney Company and or correct.
Two
all the time.
Guys talking Disney answers. So there you go. That is it. Thank you guys mostly for leaving us questions. We love answering them. These are our favorite episodes to do. So thank you again. Problem is, we don't have any reviews to talk about next week. So if you have a minute, leave a review on wherever you're listening to this, and Doug will read that or butcher your name next week on the show. And also, if you want to go on a cruise or to Walt Disney World, literally now is the best time to book. The 50th is right around the corner. Doug's going to be there. This is the time that you want to get your name going. Heck, I want to get to Space 220, Doug, so I had to book a trip. So, literally, we just added Epcot 2 days ago. No, yesterday when we were recording. So, all for that reason. So, right now, great time to book.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm glad that you added that Epcot day to try to get in there.
I know.
Hopefully
I'm excited
you get
for
in
that.
there.
Yeah. But we have the annual passes. I have no idea. Family of 5. That was my question. Is it a family of 5 restaurant? Or do they have one table in the back corner?
The way Disney works with their dining reservation thing, it's always better to be a family of 4 or 6.
It's always be a family of 2.
Oh, that always helps.
That always is great. It's just like me and my wife sitting at a table, my 10 and 8-year-old sitting, and then we'll put the 3-year-old at another table. It's all good. We'll be in space. Anyway, we got to get to the Patreon show. So if you want to be a part of that community and get your questions answered first, and of course, the bonus stuff, you need to click that in the show notes and book your trips, of course, with Michelle. Her email is in the show notes as well. But for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.